Hello guys, Charles here and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a little harmonic analysis of rhythm changes. Rhythm changes is one of the most contra-facted tunes out there, meaning there's so many songs with different names that under the hood they're just the rhythm changes. So learning rhythm changes is probably your next step after learning a jazz blues. It's so fundamental to understanding the way that jazz harmony works. I Got Rhythm's most commonly performed in the key of B flat. Now to figure out a key signature, if you're told the key, like I've just told you we're in B flat, you add the next flat in the order of flats list to your key signature. So what that means is battle ends and down goes Charles's father. I told you you were in the key of B flat or battle, so you're going to add ends to it, giving you two flats, B flat and E flat. Now if instead of being told a key signature, you see one on the page, you will see two flats, battle and ends, and you look at the final flat, which is ends in this case, and you go back a step. So battle ends, you would see E flat there as your final flat, you'd go back and you'd realise, oh, I must be in the key of B flat major then. So the changes we're looking at today are just taken from iReal Pro. They're the most likely ones that you've got access to, so that's what we're going to be using today. There's many variations, as I said, many contra-facts on these changes, and I may point a few of those out as we go through. So for the A section, I'm going to call out the scales and play the chords. So we've got B flat major, E flat major, A flat major, C7, B flat major. Then we repeat it. B flat major still. E flat major. A flat major. E diminished or C7. B flat major. And that second time we just resolve to B flat. So bar 1 is B flat 6 to G minor 7. Good news here is they are the same chord. It's an inversion of itself. B flat 6 and G minor 7 have exactly the same notes in them. B flat, F, D and G. So first bar looks and sounds like this. Or you just stay on the same chord, which is what we do in Anthropology, which is one of the most famous versions of the rhythm changes. So to play over B flat 6 and G minor 7, we simply use our B flat major scale, which is B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A and B flat. That gives us our two flats from the key signature as we discussed, B flat and E flat. Bar 2 is a 2-5. We've got C minor 7 to F7. So for a 2-5, we can think of it either all as 2 or all as 5. If you want to, you can think of it specifically as 2-5 as printed, but we're trying to free up brain space here. So you probably want to think of this as F7 or F mixolydian, if you know that. All we're doing here is playing the notes of B flat major. The notes haven't changed at all, but we're thinking of them now, we're reframing them in an F way. So the first two bars here are all just B flat major, but the accent and emphasis changes as we move from bar 1 to bar 2. So bar 1, B flat major played B flat to B flat. Bar 2 is the same notes but starting and ending on F as our priority. Or starting and ending on C as our priority, which gives us C Dorian. Bar 3 and 4 are what we call a 3-6-2-5. So in the key of B flat, 3 would be B flat, C, D, 6 is G, C is 2 and F is 5. So we've got 3-6-2-5, which gives us D minor 7, G minor 7, C minor 7 and F7. And all of those are diatonic to B flat major. So again, we're not using any outside notes here. We're just playing B flat major and reframing where the emphasis of the notes lies. So to summarize that, in the first 4 bars, we've only used B flat major. One scale, nice and easy. Now bars 5 to 8 start to take us into a new scale. Now bar 5 starts on B flat 7. to B flat 7 in its first inversion, B flat 7 over D. So what we've got here is a B flat mixolydian. Now in both Anthropology and Oleo, which are two of the most common contra-facts of this tune, bar 5 is F minor 7 to B flat 7. So again, it's just a 2-5 is what we're really playing here in the key of E flat now. So it's a B flat 7 chord. So we're going to be playing the notes of the E flat major scale. But we're going to be playing them in a B flat way. So I've just told you you're in the key of E flat. So that means you've got to add a flat to that. Battle, ends, and. So that means we're using 3 flats here, B flat, E flat and A flat, to give us that scale of E flat major. Played in a dominant fashion there, starting on B flat. Bar 6, we're moving to an E flat 7 chord. So again, E flat 7, it's a dominant chord, so it's the 5 of something. That's what dominant chord means. So E flat takes us to A flat. So temporarily we're in A flat major there. So I've told you we're in A flat major, battle, ends, and we're going to add a flat to it, D flat. So you're now going to be using 4 flats on this one to play the scale of A flat major. Remember, there's no easy scales or hard scales on the guitar, like there are on the piano, for example. Using black notes on the piano makes some scales more awkward than others. Once you've understood that you're in A flat major, you just need to find where that lives and play exactly the same shape that you would play on C major, for example. Whereas on the piano and other instruments, that's not necessarily true. Scales on the guitar are so easy in comparison. We're then on to an E diminished 7. So for a diminished 7, we can treat it as a diminished chord, so we could play the diminished scale on that. But we generally treat it as the 3rd degree of a dominant chord. So it's an E diminished. So if E is number 3, then C would be its number 1. So we can play like C7 ideas. It just gives us a C7 sound, that E diminished, so it's up to you which one you want to use there. Moving on, we've got B flat 6 or a B flat over F, which is just a B flat chord again. We're back where we started, nice and easy. F7, still just B flat, another B flat chord, and F7. So just B flat for the bars 7 and 8 there, nice and easy. So you've got 2 tricky bars, bar 5 and 6. I'm just going to recap bar 5 and 6 because then that's pretty much the whole tune learned, believe it or not. So bar 5 is a B flat 7 chord. So we're going to be playing B flat mixolydian, you can think of it that way, which is the scale of E flat major. So you need to know your major scales, you need to know those shapes, and you need to know your note names on the guitar so you can move it to the E flat place, but you're just playing that same easy pattern as C major. Bar 6, E flat 7. So again, we're playing here A flat major in an E flat way. We call that E flat mixolydian, but if you know your A flat major scale, that's perfect. It's exactly the same thing, just thinking about it differently. E diminished 7 can be thought of as an E diminished 7, so we can play the whole half diminished scale on E, or we can play C7, which is because E is the 3rd of C, and generally speaking, we think of diminished chords as the 3rd degree of a dominant. Now, careful on that because sometimes people will respell the diminished chord to give it an easier looking name on the page. For example, this E diminished 7, someone could have written G diminished 7 there and it would have been correct in terms of the right notes, but that functionality little trick I've just told you wouldn't work anymore. So you need to look at where the bass note's going, and most of the time it should be resolving upper semitone. So we can see here we've got E diminished 7 going up to F in the bass of the next chord. So we know that this is functioning as a C7 because C7 takes us to F. So that's the A section learned. Now the great thing about this tune is there's only 2 sections. When we play the head, there is a coda at the end as well, but most of the time when we're soloing over this, we just go A, B, A. So the B section is equally simple. There's only 4 chords here. 4 chords are D7 for 2 bars, G7 for 2 bars, G7 for 2 bars, F7 for 2 bars. So I'm going to play that one more time and I'm going to say the major scales as I play. G major, C major, F major, B flat major, and that takes us back to the A section. So we've got 4 scales in this B section. We've got G major on the D7 chord. Now, again, we're playing it in a D way, rather than playing the notes of G major. With that emphasis, we're playing them with this emphasis. So we call that D mixolydian. G7, we're playing G mixolydian, which is just the note of C major, easiest scale in the world. Next up, we've got C7. We're playing the notes of F major in a C way, which we call C mixolydian. And finally, the notes for the F7 chord are just back to B flat major, played in an F way. We'll call that F mixolydian. So again, that's the same that we were doing in bar 2 of the A section, exactly the same scale. So that's it for scales in this piece. So in total, we've got B flat, E flat, A flat majors, F major for half a bar on that diminished chord. Then for the bridge, we've got G major, C major, F major again, and B flat major. So there's a handful of scales, about 5 scales there you need to get comfortable with, but these are just major scales. So that's pretty much all the theory you need to know for this tune. Bear in mind that you want to get confident with these major scale versions first. Now it's going to potentially sound a bit square and a bit dull because we're not adding in any of the exciting colour stuff yet. However, remember that you need to get to grips with the tune in its simplest form and have that as your foundation, so that you can start to stray away from those notes, add in a bit of chromaticism, and you don't lose your place. All of the tricks that we've talked about on this channel, all of the spicy 2-5-1 stuff, all of the George Garzoni triadic stuff, all of the space age arpeggios, all these exciting things can be applied to this tune, especially on the dominant chords. But they're going to sound a bit forced and inauthentic if you're not familiar with the basic version of the tune first. So to wrap up here, I'm going to have a little go at playing through this unaccompanied, and hopefully you can hear some of those scales going through. I'll try and keep it relatively strict to what we've talked about in this video, but I may add in a few chromaticisms here and there as well. So let's just see what happens. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. So something nice and simple there. I wasn't trying to add in any of the tricks of the trade, just sticking true to the scales we talked about. I think I got a bit carried away in the middle section there, but hopefully you'll forgive me and understand the general concept here. We're so lucky nowadays, you now know the scales and chords. All you need to do now is go on YouTube and listen and read as many transcriptions of this tune as you possibly can. Look at what the other soloists are doing, look at the phrases they're making, not just the individual notes themselves, and listen to the general shape of the solos. That's really, really an important thing when we're listening to a transcription. Take any cool ideas that you like and make sure you understand where those notes came from. If there's a bit of chromaticism in there, make sure you can identify it and label it. And by building up your trick bag, by learning as many solos from other people as possible, you start to kind of just marinate in the rhythm changes and get your own sense of how to play over these chords. If you found that breakdown useful, please do give this video a like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and share with any of your friends who might also benefit from this. And as always, I hope you're all doing very well, getting plenty of practice in, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.
Roll up, let me embed a story you'll never forget. A drip, drip, you're drowning in debt now. You can't buy your way out, and I heard you find it difficult to